Multi-day tour operators. Over the past few weeks, we've covered a lot of ground. How to communicate with your guests across the 5 phases of their journey, how to manage the complex web of supply coordination that sits behind every trip. Today, we're going to cover the final pieces. So that's finance, guides, and your agent communications.
So with regards to finance, you simply need to know who is paid, who hasn't, and when reminders should go out. Your guides and tour leaders need accurate, up-to-date information about the guests they're about to spend days with. And if you work with travel agents, they need professional, consistent communication that doesn't require your team to start from scratch each time.
So as I mentioned, today we're going to walk through exactly how Odyssey handles all these 3 and why getting this right makes a bigger difference than most operators expect. So let's start with finance communications, because this one is one that affects every single tour operator. So payment management always looks simple from the outside, but in reality, it can easily turn into a time drain. So for example, deposits come in at different times, final payments fall due weeks before the departure, some guests pay on time, whereas others need a reminder. And your team needs to know exactly where every booking stands without manually checking spreadsheets and the like.
In Odyssey, the payments dashboard brings all of this into one place. You can see at a glance which bookings have deposits received, which are due, which are overdue, and who the payer is, and who has settled in full.
So the bigger efficiency gain, of course, is around automation. And Odyssey can send payment reminders automatically triggered by the due date of each booking. So your team doesn't have to monitor a calendar and chase people individually. The system knows when a payment is due, sends the reminder without anybody needing to remember. So for operators running multiple departures at once, this is a genuine time saver. Okay, let's talk about guides, because this is where operational accuracy really matters on the ground and on tour, right?
Your guides are the people your guests actually spend the most time with. What they know and how current that information is directly affects the experiences your guests are going to have.
But keeping guides properly updated is harder than it sounds. Guest lists can change, right? Rooming arrangements shift, maybe a bike type needs updating because a guest changed their mind, etc. If your guide is working off a document that was accurate 3 days ago, but not today, then someone's going to have a big problem. See, Odyssey builds the guide briefings directly from your live tour data. When you generate communications for your guides, the system pulls current guest names, the rooming list, the equipment specifications, dietary requirements, and any relevant notes.
The guide then gets a single, accurate document that reflects the actual state of the trip at the time it's sent, not what was in the system last Tuesday.
And additionally, the rostering app extends this further. So you can add your guides, your drivers, your support staff, external, to Odyssey's integrated rostering system. From there, they have access to a mobile dashboard that shows their upcoming schedules, the trip details, and any communications relevant to their role. They don't need to call the office to find out what's happening next week. The information is already there on their phone.
And when something changes close to departure, it's really straightforward to generate the guide briefing from the updated trip data, and it's resent. The guide always has the current version.
Okay, so now let's talk about travel agents, because if you work with agents, this one is really important. Agents sit in an interesting position in your communications chain. They've made the booking and they're responsible for their customer, but the information your system holds needs to flow through them really cleanly. And Odyssey brings agents into the same communication framework as everyone else. You can build a dedicated email template or templates for agents that work the same way as your guest-facing communications. So it draws from the same trip data sent at the right point in their journey. You know, a booking confirmation to an agent looks different from one sent to a guest, but it comes from the same source of data, the same tour. And because Odyssey holds each agent's commission rate information, a financial confirmation sent to an agent can include the relevant commission details alongside the booking financials. So that's one less manual calculation, one less email your team has to draft from scratch.
Because the customer is looked after by the agent, normally the agent holds the customer data. However, we can easily import their client data into Odyssey.
And when it comes to itineraries, agents can receive the format that suits them. It could be like a clean text-based document to pass on to their client, or a more detailed day-to-day version for their own reference. The result is that agents receive professional, consistent communications that reflect your brand, without your team having to separate the process out for them.
Now, the last piece is something that ties all of this together, and that's how your communications look.
Every tour operator has their own way of presenting their business to the world. The emails your guests, suppliers, guides, and agents receive are part of that impression. You see, in Odyssey, your email communications are fully customizable with your logo, your brand colors, your imagery, and your formatting. When a guest opens a booking confirmation or a pre-trip email, it looks like it came from your business. And that consistency matters. It tells guests, before they've even set foot on your trail or tour, that they're in capable hands and are going to be looked after.
Odyssey also provides flexible itinerary formats to suit different purposes. A clean text document works well for agents, as I mentioned before, who need to pass that information on to their clients. A more detailed day-to-day itinerary gives guests and guides the full operational picture. And for inquiries or proposals, a more enticing format can help convert interest into a confirmed booking.
All of them pull from the same trip data in Odyssey, so the information is accurate regardless of which format you're using. And every communication that leaves your business carries your trusted brand. This is really important.
So in summary, guys, when all of this work is working together, the picture looks quite different from what most operators start with, right? And are currently doing or using. Guests receive real-time branded communications that match where their journey is. Suppliers get clear, standardized booking requests and confirmations. Finance communications go out automatically, and guides have current, accurate briefing and tour information. And agents, well, they receive professional, consistent emails without your team having to start from scratch. Your team isn't the relay station for all this information. The system should and does handle the generation, the timing, and the delivery of this. What your team gets back is the capacity to focus on the things that actually need their attention and their judgment. And that's what operational depth looks like in practice. Not just bookings and confirmations, but the full communication picture from the first inquiry through to the post-trip review request.
Hey, if you want to see how Odyssey handles all of this in practice, the link to our full blog is in the description. We've also made 3 other blogs, so you should get in and read those. This is a comprehensive package. You can learn about how to improve your communications in your business. And if you want to see it up and running in your own operation, then reach out, get in touch, and we can walk you through it. Cheers.